University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello, there's a place in the second round for whichever team can make the most of the questions we're about to throw at them. There's also a place in the playoffs if tonight's losers can muster enough points to put themselves there. Clare-Cambridge is the second oldest in the city. It was founded as University Hall in 1326 and renamed Clare Hall a few years later after an endowment from Edward I's granddaughter, Lady Elizabeth de Clare, one of the richest heiresses in England. It took its present name in 1856. Its impressive architecture includes the Old Court and the much-photographed Clare Bridge, decorated with 14 stone bulls, one of which famously has a wedge missing, about which there are many fanciful legends, although perhaps the likeliest explanation is that it just fell off. Alumni include the ill-fated cleric Hugh Latimer, the poet Siegfried Sassoon and Sir David Attenborough. The college has a bronze bust of him, which students rub for luck before their exams. Tonight's team have an average age of 22 and describes themselves as united in their diversity, being a soldier, an actor, a philologist and a sci-fi geek. But let's hear their more customary introductions.
Hi, I'm David Tremaine. I'm from Chelmsford in Essex and I'm reading English literature.
Hi, I'm Sarah Binney. I'm from London and I study physics.
And this is their captain.
Good evening, I'm Olivier Gruy from Stoke Mandeville in Buckinghamshire and I'm reading for a PhD in strategy and counter-terrorism.
Hi, I'm Ellie Warner. I'm originally from Pulbury in West Sussex and I'm reading Chinese studies.
This year, the University of Warwick is celebrating the 50th anniversary of its Royal Charter. It's notably not in Warwick, but on the outskirts of Coventry, with outposts at Wellesbourne and at the Shard in London. It's known for its strong links with industry and business. Alumni include the comedians Stephen Merchant, Ruth Jones and Frank Skinner, and the writers Anne Fine and A.L. Kennedy. The team have coined a motto for their appearance: "'Tis better to have buzzed and lost than never to have buzzed at all." We'll see how that plays out over the next half hour. With an average age of 21, representing over 23,000 students, let's now meet the Warwick team.
Hi, I'm Hugh Osborne. I'm from Norwich and I'm studying for a PhD in astronomy.
Hello, my name is Emily Stevenson. I'm from Oxford and I'm studying English literature.
And this is their captain.
Hi, I'm Ashley Page. I'm from Rickmansworth in Hertfordshire and I'm studying for a PhD in chemistry.
Hi, I'm James Leahy. I'm from Shrewsbury in Shropshire and I'm studying for a degree in French and History.
Let's not waste any time reciting the rules which everybody knows, so fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. In one version of events, which location is said to have taken its name from that of a Dutchman who operated a ferry to Orkney during the reign of James IV? Although the northernmost point of Great Britain is at nearby Dunnet Head, it's often cited as an
Claire Warner.
John O'Groats.
Correct. You get a set of bonuses, Claire, on a London museum. Which museum in London includes works of art collected by the Seymour Conway family during the 18th and 19th centuries? It's held in Hertford House, the former family residence.
The Wallace collection.
Correct. Exemplifying the Rococo style, which painting of around 1767, now in the Wallace collection, is perhaps the best-known work by the French artist Jean-Honoré Fragonard?
The Laughing Cavalier.
No, it's the Swing. And finally, the Wallace collection includes a gouache miniature of which 16th century German painter, noted for his double portrait, The Ambassadors?
Holbein.
Hans Holbein the Younger is correct. 10 points for this. Published in 1759, an inquiry into the present state of polite learning was a treatise by which Irish-born writer? His later works include the poem The Deserted Village and the play...
Claire Tremaine.
Oliver Goldsmith.
Correct. Your bonuses, Clare College, are on poetry this time. In each case, name the bird described in the following lines. Firstly, from a poem by Tennyson. He clasps the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands. Reigned with the azure world he stands.
Eagle.
Correct. From a poem by W.B. Yeats. I saw, before I had well finished, all suddenly mount and scatter, wheeling in great broken rings upon their clamorous wings.
Noise. Seagulls.
Seagulls.
No, they're swans in the wild swans at Poole. And finally, by Milton. Sweet bird that shunnest the noise of folly, most musical, most melancholy, the chauntress of the woods among I woo to hear thy even song.
A nightingale.
Correct, yes. 10 points for this. The bulbourethral or Cooperian glands are found directly beneath which larger gland in the human male?
Warwick Page.
The prostate.
Correct. You get 3 bonuses on fungal diseases of trees, Warwick. First scientifically described in 2006 and confirmed in Britain in 2012, what common name is given to the disease affecting trees of the genus Fraxinus?
It could be ash dieback or Dutch elm. Dutch elm was one. Ash dieback. Ash dieback.
Correct. Secondly, Phytophthora ramorum is responsible for mortality in many types of tree. What is the common name of this disease in Quercus species?
Should we go for Dutch elm? Dutch elm?
No, it's sudden oak death. And finally, what is the common name of the disease caused by related species of the genus Ophiostoma? The fungus is spread by bark beetles and in Britain has devastated the population of susceptible trees.
We're going to go for it again, aren't we? Yeah. Dutch elm?
Correct. Yeah. 10 points for this. Which present-day capital was the birthplace in 1783 of the revolutionary Simón Bolívar?
Warwick Osborn.
Lima.
No, anyone like to bust from Clare?
Claire Tremaine.
Lisbon.
No, it's Caracas. 10 points for this. Which US physicist contractor's advisor to the Atomic Energy Commission was terminated in 1953 when he was accused of having communist sympathies?
Warwick Page.
Feynman?
No, you lose 5 points. He had earlier opposed the development of the hydrogen bomb, having served as scientific director of the Manhattan Project.
Claire Gruy.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer is right, yes. Your bonuses, Claire, are on the 11th century. Who was declared King of England by the Danes on the death of his father, Swine Forkbeard, in 1014, but did not manage to take the throne until 2 years later?
Alfred the Great.
No, it's Canute. Which Anglo-Saxon king returned from exile in 1014 to claim the throne from Canute at the invitation of leading English noblemen?
Edward the Confessor.
No, it's Ethelred II, Ethelred the Unready. What was the name of the Irish High King who defeated the Vikings at the Battle of Clontarf in 1014, but died in the battle?
Cuchulainn.
No, it's Brian Boru. Right, we're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you'll see the flag of an English county as recorded on the Flag Institute's UK Flag Registry. 10 points if you can give me which county's flag is being shown.
Warwick Page.
Cornwall.
Cornwall is right, yes. That is the cross of St Piran, a 6th century Cornish abbot. Your bonuses are 3 more English county flags of varying vintages. 5 points for each you can identify. Firstly...
Hertfordshire. I'm from Hertfordshire, but I don't recognise it, but Hertfordshire. Yeah. Yeah. Hertfordshire.
It is Hertfordshire. The heart is the clue, of course. Secondly, this flag.
Yeah, it could be. Should we go for that? Somerset?
No, it's Worcestershire. And finally...
Oh, dear. Some naval province.
Do
Hampshire.
you want to go for Hampshire? I really recognise it. Hampshire? Yeah. Hampshire?
No, it's Essex. They're Saxon daggers. 10 points for this. What's being described? In 1986, Hamilton, Ohio, voted to add 1 to its name, while the Quebec town of St. Louis-du-Ha-Ha claims to be the world's only place that has 2. The Devon seaside village of Westward Ho.
Warwick Leahy.
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark is correct, yes. Right, these bonuses are on World Heritage sites in North Africa, Warwick. In each case, name the country in which the following are located. Firstly, the ruins of Tipaza and the former Roman colony of Timgad.
Perhaps Libya. Yeah. Yeah. Libya.
No, they're Algeria. Secondly, the historic city of Meknes and the Medina of Tetuan.
Somewhere Arabic.
Could be Libya. Okay.
Could be Morocco. Sounds...
Any others?
Tunisia.
What do you want to go for?
Try Tunisia.
Tunisia?
Go for it.
Tunisia?
No, it's Morocco. And finally, the old town of Gdames and the archaeological sites of Cyrene and Leptis Magna.
Which haven't we been?
Is it Libya or Tunisia?
Well, that could be Tunisia as well, or Egypt.
Should we go Tunisia? Tunisia.
No, it's Libya. 10 points for this. Also described as plutonic. What term describes igneous rock that's forced while molten into cracks and fissures in other rock formations? In everyday speech, the same word means appearing without invitation or...
Warwick Page.
Intrusion.
OK, I'll accept that. Yeah, it's intrusive, but I'll accept that. You've got the general idea. Right, you get a set of bonuses on composers, Warwick. The opera Duke Bluebeard's Castle and the ballets The Wooden Prince and The Miraculous Mandarin are works by which Hungarian composer who died in New York in 1945?
Bartók.
Correct. Which composer worked with Bartók on collections of Hungarian folk songs and wrote Samos Hungaricus in 1923 to mark the 50th anniversary of the union of Buda and Pest?
What was the year? 1853.
List, perhaps.
Could be List, isn't that a bit?
Maybe list.
Yeah.
Not
List.
No, it's Kodali. And finally, which Hungarian pianist and composer introduced the idea of the symphonic poem for orchestra and wrote 12 such works at Weimar in the mid-19th century?
List.
Oh, because he wrote Hungarian dances.
He wrote Hungarian dances, yeah.
Go Brahms.
Definitely, yeah. Brahms.
No, it was Liszt. Bad luck. 10 points for this. Death cancels all engagements is a line from which novel of 1911? It bears the subtitle An Oxford Love Story and depicts the devastating effect the title character has on...
Warwick Leahy.
Morris.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. The devastating effect the title character has on Oxford's undergraduates.
Claire Warner.
Porter Blues.
No, it's Zuleika Dobson. 10 points for this. Short, Clark and Harris are linked with what five-letter name to denote a Latin dictionary? An expedition begun in 1804...
Warwick Page.
Lewis.
Lewis is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on a US state, Warwick. The boundaries of which of the original 13 colonies include 65 kilometres of the shoreline of Lake Erie and a stretch of the Delaware River?
New York.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Go for it. New York.
No, it's Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Pennsylvanian and Mississippian are North American divisions of which geological period? In Britain, it comprises the limestone, the millstone grit and the coal measures.
Carboniferous.
Correct. Which region of Pennsylvania is a plateau named after the mountain range of the Appalachians in which it terminates to the east?
Adirondacks, but they're in New York. Could be Blue Ridge. Adirondacks, I think, are in New York, not Pennsylvania, but I'll go for that. Yeah. Adirondacks?
No, they're in New York State. It's the Allegheny Plateau. Right, we're going to take a music round. For your music starter, you're going to hear an excerpt from an opera. For 10 points, name the composer.
Claire Tremaine.
Oh, no. Il Trovatore.
No, I'm looking for the composer. You can hear a little more, Warwick.
Warwick Page.
Verdi.
No, it's Rossini. It was from The Barber of Seville. So, music bonuses in a moment or two. Fingers on the buzzers. Another starter question now. Reputedly inspired by a restaurant on New York's Greenwich Avenue where two streets meet. Which 1942 painting by Edward Hopper?
Warwick Page.
Nighthawks.
Nighthawks is correct, yes. OK, you heard for the music starter an excerpt from The Barber of Seville, sung by Count Almaviva while in disguise as a penniless student. For your bonuses, 3 more excerpts from operas in which the character singing is in disguise. In each case, I'd like the composer to get 5 points. Firstly, this piece.
Italian. You Verdi or Puccini? Should I go Verdi? I go Verdi. You prefer Puccini? Puccini?
No, that's Verdi. It's the Duke of Mantua pretending to be another impoverished student in Rigoletto. Secondly, this piece, please.
Britain?
No, that's Beethoven. It's Leonore pretending to be Fidelio in the opera of the same name. And finally, this piece.
Bizet?
No, that's Mozart. That was from Così fan tutti. It was Guglielmo in disguise as an Albanian. Right, 10 points for this. The son-in-law of the late film director Ingmar Bergman, which Swedish left-wing activist and crime writer created a detective who's been...
Warwick Leahy.
Henning Mantel?
Correct. 3 questions on the solar system, Warwick, for your bonuses. How many moons in total orbit the 4 planets of the inner solar system?
Yeah, 2 for Mars and 1 Earth. Yeah. 3.
3 is correct. How many moons of the solar system are larger than Earth's moon?
I think it's only 1 or 2. I think it might just be Ganymede and Titan. I'm not 100% sure though. Sure. Should we go for it? Try 2? 2?
No, it's 4. What is the smallest planet of the solar system that's larger than any moon?
Maybe Mars. Mars is the second smallest.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah? Mars.
It is Mars, yes. 10 points for this. Also known as bistable, what 2-word hyphenated term denotes a type of electronic circuit that can be in either of 2 stable states reversed by an electrical pulse?
Warwick Leahy.
Series?
No. Anyone want to buzz from Claire?
Claire Binney.
Electronic binary.
No, it's a flip-flop. Seemed to be in pain a moment ago. Right. Let's have another starter question. The birth of the experimental branch of which social science is said to have occurred in 1879 at the University of Leipzig, when Wilhelm Wundt established the first laboratory dedicated to this field of study?
Claire Tremaine.
Psychology?
Correct. Right, Claire, these bonuses are on an ecumenical council. Which lakeside city in southwest Germany gives its name to an ecumenical council called in 1414 to end the papal schism and to examine allegations of heresy?
I say lakeside. Okay, well, what's by lake? Friedrichshafen, Lindau. Friedrichshafen's a city. Friedrichshafen.
Friedrichshafen.
No, it's Constance. Which Bohemian religious reformer was tried and burned at the stake at the Council of Constance?
Well, it wasn't Latimer.
No.
We don't know, Jeremy.
Jan Hus. And finally, which English theologian and translator of the Bible was condemned as a heretic at the Council of Constance? He died in Leicestershire around 30 years earlier.
What was this, 1414? Okay, that's... It's not, but yeah. I can't think of else it would be.
OK. Hugh Latimer.
No, it was Wycliffe. Right, we're going to take a second picture round. For your picture starter, you're going to see a still from a film. For 10 points, I want the English title under which the film was released in the UK.
Claire Binney.
Spirited Away.
Correct, yes. Now, Spirited Away won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature in 2003 and was produced by the Japanese animation house Studio Ghibli. Your picture bonuses are 3 more stills from Studio Ghibli Productions. Again, in each case, I want the English title under which the film was released in the UK. Firstly, for 5.
That's Princess Mononoke.
Princess what?
Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke.
Correct. Secondly,
That's Ponyo.
Ponyo.
Yeah, it's like Little Mermaid, but not.
Ponyo.
correct. And finally,
And that's Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle.
well done. Right, 10 points at stake for this. Who comes next in this sequence? Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz, Victoria of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld, Queen Victoria, Alexandra of Denmark, and...
Warwick Stevenson.
Mary of Teck.
Correct, yes. Mothers of British monarchs. So a set of bonuses for you on chemical elements, Warwick. Which chemical element was, in 1945, the last of the rare earth metals to be discovered? It has the atomic number 61 and is named after a titan of Greek mythology.
It's Promethium. Promethium?
Correct. With the atomic number 51, which element was formerly used in the production of bells and metal type? It occurs chiefly as the grey sulfide mineral stibnite.
That's antimony. Yeah, antimony.
Correct. With the atomic number 41, which element is similar to tantalum and was named after the daughter of Tantalus in Greek myth, described by Hamlet as all tears?
Niobium.
Correct. 10 points for the starter question. In graph theory, how many bridges feature in the Bridges of Königsberg?
Warwick Page.
7.
7 is correct, yes. These bonuses are on Central Asia, Warwick. Created in the 1890s as a buffer between empires, the Wakhan Corridor is more than 200 kilometres long and is an eastward protrusion of which landlocked country?
Perhaps Kazakhstan.
Could be Afghanistan buffer zone, makes sense.
Yeah.
Between.
Afghanistan. Is Afghanistan landlocked to the south? Yeah.
Yeah.
Afghanistan.
Correct. To the east, the Wakhan Corridor shares a short border with which large autonomous region of China?
Xinjiang. Xinjiang.
And nominate Leahy.
Xinjiang.
Xinjiang is correct. And finally, the Wakhan Corridor also borders Pakistan to the south and which former Soviet republic to the north?
I think it might be Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan?
No, Uzbekistan's
That's further
surrounded by
west, isn't it? I think it might be Uzbekistan. Yeah. Uzbekistan?
No, it's Tajikistan. There's less than 5 minutes to go and 10 points at stake for this. The sweet dessert wine Commandaria is said to be the oldest named wine still in production and is made in the Troodos Mountains on which Mediterranean island?
Warwick Leahy.
Cyprus.
Correct. Your bonuses are on the later Roman Republic, Warwick. Which Gallic chieftain defeated Julius Caesar at the Battle of Gergovia? He was later captured and executed in Rome in 46 BC.
Vercingetorix.
Correct. Which king of Pontus contested Roman hegemony in Asia Minor in 3 wars before his final defeat by Pompey? I simply need his regnal name.
Yeah. Mithras.
No, it's Mithridates.
Oh.
And finally, the former gladiator Spartacus defeated several Roman armies before being defeated himself near the river Silaris in 71 BC by which Roman general?
Crassus? Crassus?
Crassus is correct. 10 points for this. Variants of what given name link the authors of The Magician of Lublin, Foundation and Empire?
Clare Binney.
Isaac.
Isaac is correct, yes. Claire, your bonuses are on political figures and literary works. In each case, I want the decade that links the following, please. Firstly, the birth of Winston Churchill and Herbert Hoover, and the publication of Trollope's The Prime Minister and Henry James's The Europeans.
1880s.
Yeah, because he was first ordered the animal team, the first one. 80s.
Okay. Yeah.
1880s.
No, it's the 1870s. Secondly, the birth of Harold Wilson and Richard Nixon and the publication of Joseph Conrad's Under Western Eyes and H.G. Wells's Mr. Britling Sees It Through.
The 1910s.
Correct. And finally, the birth of John Major and Bill Clinton and the publication of War's Brideshead Revisited and Orwell's Animal Farm.
It's got to be post-20s, 30s.
The 1930s.
No, it's the 1940s. 10 points for this. In the 1960s, R.A. Butler, Patrick Gordon Walker, Michael Stewart, George Brown and Sir Alec Douglas Hume were among those who held which cabinet office?
Warwick Leahy.
Chancellor.
Anyone like to buzz from Clare?
Claire Gruey.
Home Secretary.
No, they were Foreign Secretary. 10 points for this. What six-letter French word refers to the prominence of a film director as a creative force and describes...
Warwick Leahy.
Auteur.
Auteur is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on a Greek prefix, Warwick. In anthropology, what Greek-derived term denotes the later part of the Stone Age, characterised by sophisticated stone tools?
Paleolithic? Yeah. We're looking for the whole thing, not the prefix. Yeah. Paleolithic? Paleolithic?
No, it's Neolithic. The Neogene period comprises the Miocene and Pliocene epochs and is the second period of which geological era?
Oh. Yeah, isn't that later on? Cenozoic. Yeah. Yes, yeah. Cenozoic?
Correct. The part of the brain known as the neocortex is a principal characteristic of which class of the phylum Chordata?
Which class? Huh? Yeah, could be. Yeah. Mammals?
Mammals is correct. 10 points at stake for this. The Willow Tea Rooms on Sauchiehall Street and the Glasgow School of Art are among the noted works of which Scottish architect?
Warwick Stevenson.
Charles Mackintosh.
Charles Rennie Mackintosh is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on airports this time, Warwick. In 2006, the international airport of which European capital city was renamed after the inventor Nikola Tesla?
He's Serbian, so presumably Belgrade. Yeah. Is it the city we're looking for? Yeah. Belgrade.
Correct. The Intercontinental Airport in Houston, Texas is named after which political figure?
Huh?
It's not Bush, is it?
Is it?
I don't know.
For an airport? Okay.
Political figure in Texas.
It's not going to be someone from...
Well, it might be like Davy Crockett.
Yeah. Davy Crockett?
No, it's George H.W. Bush.
I'm sorry.
And finally, the international airport for which European capital is named after Mother Teresa? Come on, let's have it, please.
Warsaw.
No, it's Tirana. And at the gong, Clare College, Cambridge have 100, Warwick have 195. Well, we shall miss you, Claire, with your encyclopedic knowledge of cartoons. Thank you very much for joining us, though. Warwick, 195 is a terrific score. We shall look forward to seeing you in the second stage of the competition. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you can join us next time for another of these matches. Until then, though, it's goodbye from Clare College, Cambridge.
Bye.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Warwick University.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.